The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because He has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. In the 19th century, when no organized form of charitable services was yet available in Kerala to care for the poor and the destitutes, aged and infirm, unwanted and downtrodden fellow men abandoned in the streets or uncared for at home, a compassionate spirit, deeply moved by their pains, arose among them. He was the Venerable Father Varghese Payyappilly. Father Varghese was born as Kunjuvaru on the 8th of August 1876 to Payyappilly Lonan and Kunju Mariam at Perumanur, Tevara in Kerala. As a child, he was God-fearing, friendly, compassionate, loving and helpful. He never refused to help others and was also a great source of inspiration for his friends. Right from his childhood, he was attracted towards God. This was quite evident when he began to serve as an altar boy at St. John's Church at a tender age. He studied at KPL School at Perumanur and at St. Albert School, Ernakulam. Amidst all the fun and excitement of childhood, God had other plans for him. He joyfully accepted God's call. Though his parents and brothers were very sad about his decision, they understood that God had called him to do greater things, and so willingly let him follow his dreams. Thus, when he was in the 9th standard, he joined the seminary at Puttanpalli near Alangad. After 2 years of his study there, he was sent to the papal seminary at Kandy in Sri Lanka for his priestly formation. On December 21st, 1907, he was ordained a priest. After a year, he was assigned the Kadamakudi parish. He zealously served the people of his parish. He began to understand the problems his people faced. Once, he met a few fishermen on their way to the sea to catch fish. He asked them not to miss the Holy Mass as that day was a Sunday. The fishermen replied that if they didn't go for fishing, their families would starve. Father Varghese told them that he would not let the families starve and asked them to follow him. They were perplexed and didn't know what to say. They simply followed him. He asked the fishermen to participate in the Holy Mass and paid them their wages. He found practical solutions to all their problems. With meekness, firmness, and strong determination, he faced the problems and resolved them successfully. After a while, he was transferred to the Alangad parish. He served the parish joyfully. In the year 1919, His Grace Mar Louis Parrambil, Archbishop of Ernakulam, passed away, and His Grace Mar Augustine Kandathil was appointed to the See of Ernakulam. Father Varghese observed that the people had to cross the jungles to attend the Holy Mass on Sundays. He told them that hereafter he would come to their place to celebrate the Holy Mass. The people voiced their concern, saying that the path towards the church was very dangerous. There could be wild elephants as well as poisonous snakes on the way. To the people's amazement, Father Varghese said, "It is better if one person faces the trouble than many." Every Sunday he used to walk to their locality to celebrate the Holy Mass. What a benevolent soul! In the year 1924, due to heavy rainfall and floods, many had lost their lives and property. 3/4 of the town of Aluva was underwater. The impact of the flood was horrendous. There was loss of human life, damage to property, destruction of crops, loss of livestock, and the health condition of the people began to deteriorate. People became homeless. Father Varghese converted St. Mary's High School, where he served as the manager, into a shelter home for the victims of flood. He also went out in a boat searching for people who were missing or stranded across the land. He was held in great honor by the people. His empathy for the poor and suffering and his reputation spread far and wide. It was during these times that 5 pious and zealous women approached Bishop Augustine for guidance and direction to serve the Lord. But the bishop refused and sent them back. He did this often just to test how much depth they had towards this vocation. Nevertheless, that did not dampen their spirits. In fact, they approached the bishop repeatedly, and finally His Excellency had to relent. He gave them permission to serve the Lord under the guidance of Father Varghese. On February 2nd, 1926, these young zealous women started their religious life. Father Varghese, on March 19th, 1927, on the feast of Saint Joseph, at Saint Joseph Mount, Chunangambeli, Aluva, founded the congregation of the Little Sisters of the Poor. After 2 years, on March 19, 1929, these 5 candidates took their first vows before His Grace Mar Augustine Kandathil, the Archbishop of Ernakulam, at St. Mary's Hall, Aluva. Since another congregation already bore this name, a new name, Sisters of the Destitute, was adopted in 1933. The holistic training he imparted to the pioneer sisters was exemplary. He taught them to be human and holy. He picked up those found lying abandoned on the footpaths or in the market and brought them to the shelter home for the aged and nursed them himself. Once a sister brought an isolated old man to the ashram. Sister Kochutresia was given the responsibility to look after the old man. When she went to clean him, she couldn't do so because the old man was very dirty and smelled awful. She wanted to serve him, but she couldn't bear the stench. The old man was eager to receive some help. When Father Varghese came, she expressed her helplessness. He quietly went inside and called Sister Kochutresia, and he started cleaning the old man lovingly. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. As he was about to leave, he told Sister, "This is Jesus. This is Jesus who is lying in front of you." In this way, Father Varghese transmitted to the pioneers his mystical experience of contemplating the face of Jesus in the destitute and offer loving service to them. The people of the locality gradually started appreciating the lifestyle and spirit of service in the new ashram. The dedicated and inspiring lives of the early members drew many educated young ladies to the newly founded congregation. They had started in a small room, and now it was beginning to expand gradually. They began to grow vegetables and crops in the nearby acquired lands so that they could feed the homeless. Father Varghese, with the cooperation of eminent persons like the members of the Legislative Assembly and advocates, along with the sisters who begged for alms in the marketplace, continued their selfless service to the destitute. The people were only happy to reciprocate, and help started pouring in. Father Varghese taught the sisters to accept joyfully anything they happened to receive. deeply moved by the words of Jesus. As you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me. Reverend Father Varghese continued Christ's redemptive mission among the poor through the Sisters of the Destitute. Often Father Varghese would wake up by 4 a.m. and walk along St. Mary's School with a lantern reciting the Rosary. Though as a religious, he had cut off all the physical ties with his family, he had taken up the full responsibility of taking care of his nieces when his brother died. His passion for the divine liturgy was quite evident when every Sunday he used to travel from Aluva to Shornur to celebrate the Holy Mass for the railway labourers. Father Varghese suffered from typhoid and was treated at St. Mary's initially. His last words to the pioneer sisters were, "Whatever happens, we have to submit to the will of God. Do not pray for anything else. Pray that the will of God be done." On September 24, 1929, he was admitted in the General Hospital at Ernakulam. His ardent love for the poor and the suffering was revealed even in the hospital bed. He heard a patient lying close to his bed, desperately crying in pain. Father Varghese expressed his desire to slowly move the old man's cot next to his bed so that he could extend his hands and pray for that person. The patient was comforted and rested in peace. For I am already on the point of being sacrificed. The time of my departure has come. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Father Varghese was called to his heavenly abode on October 5, 1929. The cause of the beatification of Father Varghese was initiated on August 25, 2009. He was declared as the servant of God by Mar Varghese Payyappilly, Major Archbishop of the Syro-Malabar Catholic Church on September 6, 2009. In February 2011, his remains were exhumed, identified, and transferred to a new tomb. Pope Francis declared him Venerable on April 14, 2018. On that day, Cardinal Mar George Alanjeri presided over the Holy Mass, thanking God for the conferral of the title Venerable to Father Payyappilly at St. John's Church, Kondurthi. Father Varghese founded the Congregation of the Sisters of the Destitute. His intention was to continue what he saw as Christ's saving message among the poor. Today, the Sisters of the Destitute have over 1,700 nuns and also include among its ranks doctors, nurses, teachers, advocates, and social workers. Their service has spread to different parts of Asia, Europe, Africa, and across the United States. In India, the regional centers are Ernakulam, Kodamangalam, Changanasheri, Ghaziabad, Delhi, and Wardha. Rooted in compassionate love, the SD Sisters try to reach out to the marginalized and the suffering through varied ministries. Their ministries are Home for the Aged, Destitute and Infirm, Rehabilitation Center to the physically and mentally challenged, Terminal Care Centers for those suffering with incurable diseases like cancer, HIV, AIDS, Healing Ministry in both government and private hospitals, imparting education in schools, providing moral education and counseling, non-formal education in slums and villages, family apostolate, slum development program, prison ministry, etc. The powerful inspiration received from the founder, Father Varghese. Our devotion shall be devotion to the poor. Our service to the destitute shall be constant God experience. Strongly urges the members to serve the poor with great zeal, contemplating Jesus in the poor. These actions of unconditional surrender still echo in the heart of the congregation he founded and is a source of great inspiration and strength for its members. Venerable Father Varghese Payyappilly is undoubtedly a beacon of compassion and love, which will remain as an eternal source of inspiration for everyone.